Hello guys, Charging Ryuki here. I feel like talking about something. You know, life sucks. And what sucks worse than life is that people suck. No matter what you do, whether you're what you choose to do in life, whether it be online or offline, where you're, in real life, doing what I do every day, or being a VTuber, simply because you don't want to put your physical self on camera, and you do everything you can to keep your identity from being known, while still being able to enjoy what you do, and yet you get flack for it. You get hell for it. I get hell. I've just noticed something I should have put on. My apologies. Always put your seatbelt on. Don't be a dumbass like me. I get flack for doing my job. I think I've kind of talked about this before. But in the 16 years of working at this place, I get nothing but hell from people that I have to put up with, people who I myself trained, simply because I do what's required of me. I do the job. I don't know why I turned the turn signal on. It's a responsibility. And part of it is making sure that your supervisor doesn't get his ass chewed or her ass chewed. As long as you do the job, you show up on time, you do what's asked of you, you get bonuses. You get opportunities. Hell, you get raises if you work hard enough. Because when I started there, they were so far behind. They had over 300 orders, and it was 5 pages long. And that was when we had a list. We had a physical list. We didn't have everything put on a computer like we do now. You had to manually go through every page of the list and make sure you print off everything. And because when I started, I had to deal with two women who loved to party, didn't care about the job. They made sure they showed up drunk to work, hungover, or high on something. They just really didn't care. Till one of them got removed and was given the option, go to rehab or you're done. And, well, that didn't go well. The other ended up quitting. And then later on making the biggest mistake of her life. But after that, I had to deal with people that were just straight up assholes. They didn't just, even though they were trained to do a job, it was a job they really didn't care much for. And they didn't like being told what to do or how to do it, but yet expected you to tell them anyway, so that they have a reason to complain. And that's what I put up with every day for the past 10 years specifically. I've had to deal with somebody who's done everything he possibly could to get me fired, because he wants to maintain control of everything up there. He tries to play boss. Everybody knows who has the most experience up where I work. And no, it's not the greatest job either. You ain't gonna like climbing 2 to 3 flights of stairs every day. You ain't gonna like coming in early, and you ain't gonna like your hands hurting. And if you're someone like me who's been raised to work ever since he was a kid, you have it in your mind. You just have this built into your head that if you want to make something of yourself, you got to work hard at it. If you don't want to do anything with your life, then you're basically considered a bum. Who ain't worth of anything. And that's a tough way of saying it. But growing up, that's what I was instructed. That's what I was told. And I've always busted my ass ever since I was a kid. I did everything I could to earn, in a job sense, earn people's respect. Earn raises. Not be given them. Earn them. There were people, I'll give you an example. There were people in the office, in the main building. People you rarely see come down on the floor during break to bullshit. This is very rare. And they looked at me being the new guy, the younger guy in the whole group, out of like 10 or 12 people in one work area, one department, being like, why don't you ask for a raise? And I very respectively and politely looked at the guy and said, why ask when I can earn it? I feel like it'll actually mean something if I actually earned it and not ask for it. Why ask for something that I didn't earn? And all he could say was, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. I like that. It's a good answer. And I'll tell you, hard work's a pain in the ass, but sometimes it pays off. And yeah, you might in the long run be damaged physically, sometimes mentally, depending on the long time of the experience of the job does to you. And like where I work, to use another example, you can lose your hearing pretty quick. You can lose an eye, you can lose a finger, you can lose a hand. A lot of things. But 3 months after I started, I knocked down the list that we had from 3 to 5 pages down to 2. And I knocked it down from being 300 plus to down to, well, what was it, about 250, somewhere right around there, maybe lower. It's been a long time. Working at a place where I work, it's hard to earn people's trust, especially people who are in the office. It's hard to earn people's trust. You have to work for it. People aren't just going to give you the benefit of the doubt. You have to earn it. And yeah, I've admitted, especially here on camera, that I'm an asshole. No doubt about that. I am an asshole. If you want my opinion, I'm going to give it to you, whether you like it in the end or not. Because simply you asked for my opinion, I'm going to give it to you. Because I will speak my mind. And I've been through the shit. I've been through it. I carry the scars of it. And through the experience of all the bullshit, drama, bullying, all this and that, the fighting, broken relationships, all of that has turned me into a man who's emotionally broken, who's numb to everything. I don't even feel my own heart, let alone check my own pulse. And it's hard to believe. I literally don't feel my heart at all. Just the other day, before my sister went back to where she lives, with her boyfriend, her and my mom both said, "I love you," before saying goodbye. Before I left my parents' house. And all I did was sit there and stare at them. I know that they do. I just, on an emotional level, I can't really grasp it. It like it contradicts what I know. So I simply just stare at them. Do I still respond? Yeah. But on an emotional level, I can't really grasp that. But dealing with people that are lazy, who don't work hard at all, it's depressing. Especially when they spend 10 years in 8 hours a day, 8 to 10 hours a day, doing everything they can to get you to punch them, get you pissed off enough to punch them, to say the wrong thing. Those kind of people are worthless and aren't worth the time. And doing your best to ignore them and not say anything at all is very exhausting. And they try to fight you, they try to win arguments, they try to out-yell you, and yet when they lose, they throw a fit, they pout, then they claim that they're the bigger man, they're the bigger wheel, and yada yada, and they just sit there and decide to start laughing when they know straight up that they lost. And it's bad enough when the boss, your own boss, knows and wants to do something, but what they want to do is the complete opposite of what the person's job requires of them to do. And yet still, it's like a contradicting thing, like I mentioned earlier. They know as a boss they should do something to put it into it all, but themselves as a person would rather get two bulls that can't stand one another to get along. Doggo, you should not be anywhere near the ditch, let alone the road. It's depressing. It's hard to work with people. It's hard to deal with hate. And yet, there's people like me who have to deal with it. And there's a lot of you out there that have to deal with it. You can do your best to ignore it, but eventually you're going to have to say something. Will it get you in trouble? Most likely. But sometimes things have to be said. I've worked with everyone that's there for 16 years, for over 16 years. They know how I am. They know damn well if they need something, they could come talk to me, and I'll be getting it done for within 5 or 10 minutes, and they'll be out of the way, and they can go back to work. I will be willing to stop what I'm doing to go help the people that need the help. If it means that I have to go like a bat out of hell and have my arm feel like it's about to fall off by the end of the day, and having to deal with that, yeah. If it's something I have to do, then I gotta do it because it's my job. And that's what I do. I get hell for doing my job from someone who I have to put up with. And if you think 10 years is plenty enough experience, you're right. It is. But how can you expect someone who has 10 years experience, who clearly has no drive, no care whatsoever, to do their job like they're supposed to? This guy spends most of the day sitting down in a chair. He makes a mess. He expects you to clean it up. He will not do it. If someone comes up and asks for help or asks for something that needs to be done, he'll basically say, I'm kind of working on something that's more important right now. Can you tell me exactly how many hoses that you want, and I'll do it for you? And then 5 minutes later, the exact same people come up and they ask for the exact same thing. 5 minutes later, because what they were given wasn't enough. If that was me, you tell me what you want, I'll make sure it gets done, and I take it downstairs personally. I personally hand it to you. Say, here you go, and if there's anything else, just let me know. And I go right back to my work area. If someone calls on the phone, hey, I need this hose at this length with these ends on it. I'd be like, alright, write it down, puts it down, walks away. Me, I memorize it, and I go and do it, and I take it down to them. If I'm cutting and I see a piece of paper that has a bunch of scribbles on it because someone was too good to come talk to me and hand it to me like a man, instead they pulled this bullshit without talking to me, and then you go and do it, and you sit it down, and then you walk away, go work on something else, and you find out that they don't want to do it. They refuse to do it. They clearly have time to do it. Something that takes a minute or two to do, and they won't do it. And then it comes down on someone like me, who just goes and does it, and still is able to finish whatever the hell I'm working on, which is what happened today. I still had plenty of time to cut a bunch of everything else that I had. There's still a couple things that need to be done, but that's something I can easily take care of within an hour. Easy. And yeah, I could sit there and tell my boss this, but like I talked about earlier, it really doesn't do me any good. Like, dealing with people suck. Especially people who do the shit that this guy does. This guy is childish. He does all the school kid bullcrap. And he won't step up and do anything. He won't get anything done. love to work. Like, I could work with everybody that's on the floor in my department. I could work with all of them. And get things done. But I can't work with the guy that I have to put up with. And I bet you before the end of this year, before we are on break, he is going to deliberately try and say something and do something to try and set me off. I have zero problem saying out loud, worthless, pathetic, a joke, lazy. I have no problem saying it out loud. And yeah, it's bad. It's bad to say it. Especially about a coworker that literally refuses to do the job. He just expects being called boss and being able to tell people what to do. But no matter how much he tries, he always fails. He doesn't remember anything. He has to be told what to do 6 to 12 times a day. He has to call or chase the supervisor down deliberately 6 to 12 times a day to bullshit with him, to ask, what do I do? What do I do? What do you want me to do? Or he goes downstairs as soon as I turn my back, and he goes down and complains to me. I got him to admit this. It wasn't that hard. He admitted to it. Me, I've learned. I've come to that age already, especially feeling that way, that I'm just done with the fighting. If someone truly fucks up, I'm all for it, whooping someone's ass. But when you really just want to go to work and do the job and go home, there shouldn't be any fighting at all. There shouldn't. I've done everything I could to try to handle things as properly, as maturely as it could possibly be done, and yet nothing is done about it. Nothing my supervisor has done has resolved it. And even the higher up, even higher up than a supervisor, could easily scare him. But he's done everything he can to try and buddy up with people, to try and get people to believe this mask that he's wearing. But yet, if you look at the computer, you look at stuff that he claims he's done, he hasn't done it. He's not putting the time in on the work orders. As much as I love to work where I'm at, I just can't stand lazy, ignorant people. I can't. I literally cannot. It's the place where I work. They expect you to work. They expect you to make good quality stuff. And yet I work with someone who clearly doesn't care. Anyway, I'm done. I'm done ranting about this. I'm gonna try and end this on a good note. That by the end of this week, if I'm lucky, I will be already making videos for February. And obviously, if you think there's gonna be a video on Monday in February, on the 3rd, you're wrong, because that's not gonna happen. Maybe after, but not on that day. No, it's not going to happen. You're not going to see a video on Monday on the 3rd of February. It's just not happen. No. But yeah, I'm probably before the end of the year. I'll most likely be done uploading videos for February, which means I will be a whole nother, like I'll be legitimately 2 months ahead. Legitimately 2 months ahead, because I'm technically almost done with January now. So anyway, I'm gonna continue driving home. I'm gonna see if I can get a couple more videos recorded before I have to go help my dad with something, and then I'll see if I can do a couple more after that. But yeah, I just felt like I had to talk about it as peacefully as I can, if you can say it that way. So thank you guys for listening, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.